Hello, everyone. Today, I want to introduce you to an amazing book called Secondary Mind, written by Korean comedian Hwang Hyun-hee and best-selling author Jegal Hyun-yeol. This book has a powerful subtitle, The Second Mental Strength That Makes You Stronger Every Time You Fall. It teaches us not to fear mistakes and failures, but instead to use them as stepping stones for growth. The authors share their own stories. One went from a struggling comedian to achieving financial freedom through investing, and the other went from living in a small rooftop room to becoming a best-selling author. They reveal the secrets of success they learned through countless trials and errors. Let's dive into the content. The power of mistakes. Did you know that many of the world's greatest discoveries came from mistakes? Penicillin, the first antibiotic that saved humanity, was discovered by accident when someone forgot to close a petri dish properly. Mold flew in and killed all the bacteria inside. The famous Post-it notes were created when 3M was trying to make super strong glue, but ended up making glue that came off easily instead. And Viagra? It was discovered as a side effect while developing medicine for heart problems. Most of what we call brilliant discoveries today started as simple mistakes. But if people had just given up and said, "Oh well, we failed," none of these innovations would exist. That's how life works. We all make mistakes and sometimes fail. Most people try to forget their mistakes, but a small number of people do something different. They examine their mistakes closely and find amazing possibilities in them. This special mindset of successful people, this mental strength that grows stronger with each fall, is what this book calls secondary mind.
Hwang Hyun-hee's story. Just do it. The author, Hwang Hyun-hee, was always worried. When he was preparing to become a comedian, he couldn't even make his friends laugh properly. He doubted himself constantly. Can I really become a comedian? Can I make people laugh on stage? When he started investing, he thought, can someone as average as me succeed in investing? Will I lose everything and become broke? But his conclusion was always the same. Whatever, let's just try it. Let's learn by failing. Let's become stronger by falling down. And that's exactly what he did. He became a comedian by getting criticized. He became an investor by falling down. Through all that scraping and falling, he learned this truth. The mindset of, let's just try it, was the real key. Chapter 1. If you don't make mistakes today, you'll fail tomorrow. In his early 20s, Hwang was just an ordinary guy. Not particularly handsome, not tall, with back problems, doing alternative military service. He had nothing special going for him. After thinking hard, he decided to become a writer because he was good at language and writing. Then, by chance, he saw an online ad for a comedy theater group that had no audition and accepted people on a first-come, first-service basis. He thought, let's just go and see, and showed up. He spent the next 10 years, from his mid-20s to early 30s, totally dedicated to comedy. He was so passionate that his mother joked he must be out stealing at night because he never came home. During this time, he made a mistake that changed his life. He met his mentor, whom he still consults with today when making important life decisions. In his mid-30s, he was suddenly cut from the popular TV show Gag Concert. It was a dark time. He had done nothing but comedy for over 10 years. That's when he chose the path of investing. Without a clear plan, he took the entrance exam for Yonsei University's Graduate School of Economics and got in. Only after enrolling did he realize the tuition was crazy expensive and that theory alone wasn't enough. Another huge mistake. But what could he do? He ran to bookstores and just devoured books. Thanks to all that falling and learning, he made incredible profits from real estate investment in 2017. He didn't just dream, he took action. He didn't care about people who laughed at him. He made mistakes freely and put what he learned into practice. The person who just goes for it. Today, Hwang is known as a comedian who speaks well, but before his TV debut, he was terrified of public speaking. He stuttered badly. His first stage performance, his pants were visibly shaking because he was so nervous he almost wet himself. His fellow comedian Kim Dae-bom saw this and told him to build courage by greeting strangers on the subway. At first, Hwang thought his friend was crazy. Introducing yourself to strangers on the subway? Insane. But his desire to change was as strong as his fear. Every morning, he fought with himself, one voice saying, "Quit this stupid thing," another saying, "Don't run away like a loser, try until the end." Luckily, the second voice was slightly stronger. After 3 months, amazingly, talking to strangers became no big deal. Then Kim Dae-bom gave him a bag of flour and told him to try selling it to people as magical powder. For several months, he shouted on the streets, sang the national anthem at subway exits, and performed street comedy in parks. In 2004, at the KBS comedian audition, Kim Dae-bom won first place, and Hwang won second place out of thousands of contestants across the country. He had failed the civil service exam 3 times, but passed the comedian audition on his first try.
Fighting 2 types of fear. To make mistakes freely, you have to face fear. There are 2 types: fear you create yourself, fear created by others around you. Hwang's method is simple. Before starting anything, he repeats a magic phrase. "It's my first time doing this, so of course it won't go well." When you're doing something for the first time, why expect it to go perfectly? This unrealistic expectation creates fear. It would be strange if things went perfectly from the start. The second fear comes from society. Our society strangely teaches us that mistakes are shameful and should be avoided. We're told that people who never make mistakes are smart and excellent, which makes no sense. Remember when the math teacher asked, "Who wants to solve this problem?" We all looked at the floor to avoid eye contact. We were terrified of getting it wrong, even though getting it wrong is no big deal. Wrong answers help us remember better. Why were we so scared? Because others would laugh or the teacher would scold us. I find joy in being laughed at. Many people fear being criticized or laughed at, but is a life without criticism even possible? Of course you'll be criticized. Why worry about something inevitable? Here's the important thing. Not everyone can like you. You must accept this. If someone criticizes you or laughs at you, that's not a reason to stop. It's proof you should keep going. Think about politicians with perfect resumes. Half the voters are their enemies. About 50% of voters automatically dislike them for no special reason. They face constant criticism, rumors, and hate comments. That's normal. They had the courage to face criticism. What about rich people? Some hate them just for having money. Celebrities, some hate them just for being popular. So who are you to expect not to be criticized? You absolutely cannot be loved by everyone. It's an unchanging truth. There will always be people who dislike you. So think about it this way. If someone is criticizing me right now, it's proof that I'm doing well. You should be the one laughing. Let's give fear to them, to those who are afraid you might succeed.
Chapter 2. Completing the secondary process. Having lots of mistakes is only valuable if you string them together like beads on a necklace. Not making any mistakes means you haven't tried anything. But are all mistakes equally valuable? Do all mistakes become fertilizer for success? The key is whether the mistake was self-directed or not. This doesn't mean you intended to make the mistake. No mistake is intentional. A self-directed mistake means the mistake helps you move toward your goal. Mistakes gain value only when you have a goal. Everything in the world has a price, and that price is different for everything. Mistakes are the same. Not all mistakes have equal value. Even the same mistake has different value depending on conditions. And the essential condition that makes mistakes valuable is always a goal. Secret number 1. The illusion that you need a goal before starting. Here's the first secret about goals. Goals aren't set in advance. They appear when you start trying something. We don't move after deciding where to go. We move to decide where to go. So the first recommended method for setting goals is to just do it. Start with your legs, not your head. Have an anyway mindset. Once you start doing something, what was blurry becomes clear. There are things you realize only by taking action. What do you need to just start? You need desire. Not specific or clear or definable, but a vague image of what you want right now. The desire in that image. Everyone has desire, even if they don't have goals. Every person has desire in their heart. You must face that desire honestly. This book, Secondary Mind, teaches us not to fear mistakes, but to learn and grow through them. The key message is simple. Just try it, make mistakes freely, and become stronger with each fall. Remember, every successful discovery started as a mistake. Your mistakes today could become your greatest achievements tomorrow. If you found this helpful, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It really helps. Thank you for watching.